No.
You're gonna fucking die.
Dang it.
Okay, so his name is Sid. He's a black cat with a black suit and a red tie.
Yeah.
He works at Warner Studio. Is this an important detail?
Very important.
Okay. He's male. He's
Yeah.
15.
Mhm.
He's bi, but he has a male preference. Now, what exactly does this mean exactly?
So
That
it means
that
he dated a girl, but he prefers dating a guy.
Right. But is
Right.
there
So
any
basically
particular
homo-flexible.
flexible?
Yeah.
Beans, can you elaborate on this further?
It means that he doesn't really find girls attractive as much as guys.
Okay then. But if he was given the option to date a girl, he would not refuse.
He would. I mean, maybe.
Basically, it's just think the pride flag, but the center. It's pride flag. It's basically the normal gay flag, but with a black and white stripe in the middle. No, in vertically in the middle.
Okay then.
Okay.
What made you go with this choice? What made you say that he's bi, but he has a male
Well,
preference? Why not just say homosexual?
I mean, because so it'll be easier if I ever do an RP with a girl.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good thing because,
Yeah.
like, as a
If
writer,
you ever want to RP with Dot,
as a writer, it's good to have your characters flexible.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to make him flexible, like in any situation.
That's good. Okay. He likes music and relaxing.
Yeah.
Okay. So does he relax with music?
Yes, he does. He plays guitar. He makes music and he relaxes to music.
And he dislikes rude people. Now, what makes him dislike rude people? Was there someone rude in his past who he had a negative? He had a run-in with someone who's really rude in the past. Is that what happened to him?
No, I just put that just for filler.
Oh, okay then.
because you couldn't.
I couldn't come with
leave
anything.
it blank.
So
Yeah.
if Sydney had to deal with a rude person, he wouldn't exactly mind very much, but it wouldn't be the highlight of his day.
Yeah, of course. Open this door, my brother.
Okay.
First chapter, baby.
First
Let's
chapter is
go.
just called 1.
Chapter 1.
Okay, I'll get started. It appears that there's some dialogue. There's a syntax error right here, Beans. What's going on?
Oh no. So
Yakko lay back on his bed.
someone else.
Not a good first impression. Not a good first grammatical impression.
There's also a syntax error here. Why is there 2 quotation marks in a row?
So the reason why is when I was copying pasting it into
You
like a big
copy
paragraph.
paste in your writing, sir?
No. Okay, so here's the backstory. This is actually a role play between me and a person.
Oh.
So I added everything together, and I must have some mess ups and stuff.
Okay. So let's just work our way through this one.
Yep.
It would be good into future to have breaks, because everything looks like a long paragraph.
True.
Yeah, it's good. Just remember next time when you do something like this, try to add some breaks. That would be good. Because as the reader, I want to know how I would interpret the reading. You know?
Yeah.
Because to me, each paragraph has like an emotional sting to it. You know?
Yeah, of course.
But when everything's one long paragraph, it's a bit. It's not hard for me to get it, but it's a little difficult on me to interpret it emotionally. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay.
Oh, I see where this is gonna go.
What?
You're gonna you're gonna write yourself on like falling in love with Yakko.
I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that as a second fan fiction, to be honest.
Uh,
All right.
I'm going to do that.
That doesn't sound half bad. Okay.
I do.
right.
Just start reading.
Sure. Hold on, let me get a glass of water. Actually, hold on.
Dang.
Beans.
Yeah,
What made you choose the name Sydney?
because it's a base. It's actually named after a person from Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
That's why I got sick.
Okay. Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. Let's go.
Yakko lay back on his bed. Well, in his ball pit. For the 5th time tonight. He wasn't able to sleep again. And for once, he didn't know why. Maybe he just needed a sweater.
A sweater.
You could destroy my sweater.
Or do you? I know you enjoy Weezer, right, Beans?
Yeah.
So would you say that your lines are sometimes references to certain song lyrics? Would you say that that could be the case?
Kind of. Well, in this RP, you can. There's like references to Pink Floyd. Like the characters go. My character will sing Pink Floyd.
Okay. So maybe you just needed a sweater. Are you saying that his sweater was destroyed because
The
someone
person I was.
someone held on to the thread as he walked away? Is that what happened to Wacko?
I guess so.
And now
I don't know.
he's naked.
and now someone's lying on the floor. He's coming undone.
Yeah, so that's exactly what's going on because he lay back on his bed. He's lying on the floor, and he's
Dang.
Oh
he's coming
no,
undone
it
because
go. Oh no, it go. It gone. Bye bye.
he
Girls
wasn't
are coming home.
exactly. He's not able to sleep. He's coming undone because he's losing order in his life. Laying on his
Yeah,
bed,
basically.
he's lying on the floor, and his sweater has come undone because it keeps happening for the 5th time
Yeah.
tonight. So he just needed a sweater because right now Yakko is naked. In more ways than one, as we might
Pretty
later
hard.
find out, right, Sydney?
We may.
I know Beans would love Yakko naked.
I can look that up if I want.
You certainly can, but
I can. I would, but I don't want him.
let's continue.
Yeah.
No, not that. Okay, you're telling me not to think like that. Okay then. He figured out what he needed pretty quick. He needed out of the water tower. He slowly pulled himself out of his ball pit, shooting a quick glance at Wacko and Dot before exiting the room. He picked up his guitar on the way out, planning to tune it when he got outside. He grabbed his book and pencil in the other hand as he snuck out the door. He walked to the edge of the balcony with a soft sigh, staring out at the movie lot. It was easy being zany with his siblings, but when he was alone, he couldn't bring himself up to it. He wished he was like them, still young and oblivious, but he wasn't.
They know my saying, not my story.
I guess that is the case. He sat down with a soft thud and pulled his guitar into his lap, which he then tuned for a moment before plucking out the riff he had written down yesterday. He decided to skip the planning and let the song come to him as he went, and it seemed to be pretty okay so far. I've been ghosting. I've been ghosting along. Ghost in your house. Ghost in your arms. When you were tossing. When you turn in your sleep, because I'm ghosting your dreams.
Yeah.
I'll
That
be in your dreams.
now you keep using this word ghosting. There's a lot of repetition of ghost
Yeah.
and ghost.
Here.
Now,
Yeah.
what exactly is ghost referring to? What would the meaning of ghost be, Beans?
Well, I bet it like I'm not the one who wrote this. This was the other person's part.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hmm.
So what I would think it is, it's this that's an actual song lyric from some random song, but anyways, I think ghosting means in this sentence is like disappearing, like gone, like well, I mean around, but just gone, if you know what I mean.
So, I've been ghosting. I've been ghosting along means that Yakko has been disappearing from places.
I guess so.
Ghost in your house, ghost in your arms. So he's lost a home and he's lost connection. Is this what it means to destroy your sweater?
I guess so.
You lose your home and you lose somebody's arms.
I
Let's
guess so.
let's continue reading.
Pretty, pretty deep.
It is.
Hmm.
By
Let's
the
keep reading.
time by the time employees started showing up, he was done with his song. He decided to play it over one last time to check for mistakes. He strummed softly and slowly. The not yet bustling lot allowed him an echo. And this is why I have decided to leave your house and home unhaunted. You don't need poltergeists for sidekicks. You don't need treats. You don't need tricks. Sid was walking round the movie lot, doing his job of catching mouses and rats. That's his job?
Yeah, that's his job at the Warner Studios. That's his job.
Because he's a cat.
Yes.
He's basically the pest control in
Basically, yeah,
in
that's what he is. Pest control.
But then he heard Wacko singing and playing.
It's Yakko, not Wacko.
I said Yakko, right?
No, you did. You said Wacko.
Okay.
Whack. It's Yak.
But then he heard But then he heard Yakko singing and playing on top of the water tower. He walked to it and he stared up at him, watching him play and sing. This guy has some talent, he said quietly to himself. Yakko felt his heart sink at the lyrics he'd written after those. Yakko felt his heart sink at the lyrics he'd written after those, knowing how much weight his own words carried. That sentence doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, Beans.
Here's the thing, I didn't write that sentence.
Oh, so you publish something and you don't claim responsibility
I was
for the
too lazy.
mistakes?
Dang,
Beans?
you got me there. You got me there.
What exactly is going on in the sentence?
So basically, Yakko is having emotional thoughts about the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it. So far, I guess.
What after those? After those, what?
I don't know. I didn't fully read it. Keep on reading, and we'll know.
I need someone else to read these quotes. It's
Perfect.
hard for me to use a narrator voice and something else at the same time.
You don't need treats. You don't need no Halloween. You need treats. You don't need tricks.
You sound so dead.
Voice grew quieter as.
No, I can read that one.
As
Just
yours-
I want you to read the quote, the stuff in quotations, Project.
I'll basically be the person to explain stuff.
His voice grew quieter as tears began to form in his broken eyes.
You don't need me.
Sid tried to get their attention.
Bonk the air.
Hey, you. Oh, he can. Oh, he can hear me.
Then Sid got an idea. He began climbing the water tower to meet the person who was playing and singing. Yakko wiped his tears quickly, trying to distance the emotion from the words. Project.
I've been ghosting along, ghosting the world, ghost with no home. I remember the days I'd make you oh so afraid.
So
He laughed softly at the memory that inspired the lyric. He remembered when he and his siblings were finally released from the water tower.
In like 1990, 1991.
Yeah.
It was hilarious to watch people's eyes widen as they realized who he was. Well, at the time, who she was. Yakko was a girl back then?
No. He's a guy.
So what's that
Yakko is a
line?
guy.
Who she was?
Reread it?
It was.
I'm looking at the vor in the art channel.
Hey, funny monkey.
Excuse
Hey,
me.
man.
What's up?
We're reading the fan fiction.
Yeah.
Reading fan fiction?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my fan fiction.
Yeah, we're reading it because it's Beans. It's Beans.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's my fan fiction.
But Ellen, why is the Pinky and the Brain porn censored that you posted?
Oh, because I censored it.
As the actually, what I'm kind of weirded out is the part as they realized who he was.
Yeah, who she was.
Because no, yeah, but it implies that people would have known who the Warner siblings were, even though they were basically in the show's universe. Their content was basically some lost media shit. All their shorts were locked inside a separate vault.
Do you know what base means? Do you know what based means? Do you know what based means?
I love that.
Funny monkey, you know we can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Are you playing that for us?
I'm back. Sorry.
I was looking on Twitter and someone posted that clip. Um, did any of you see the new chips challenge?
No, I didn't see it.
I never
Oh,
heard of it.
I am minorly. I feel. I don't know how I feel about that episode. I haven't watched it yet. I want to watch it, but
oh,
yeah, I just I wanted
yeah.
to do the 20 fan art challenge from the other episode, and I don't
Artie,
exactly know if I'm still able to do that yet.
Artie feels really bad about about that video.
Really? He doesn't like it?
Yeah, he says that he shouldn't have wasted the lady's time on the suicide hotline.
Well, the moment is over. The only thing that's left is the video now. So,
Yeah.
Keep reading it.
are you guys ready
Or are
to?
we?
Beans.
What?
How many words are in chapter 1? This is a lot.
Like 1,000 something?
Hmm. We're at 21 minutes on the recording.
Dang.
So you want to just read chapter 1 and stop?
Yeah, we'll continue next time.
Which is based because I've already got an idea for the drawing
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
for the cover.
I don't know, man. I think the workers are coming home.
Yeah. Give me a second. I lost my place. Oh, right here. It was hilarious to watch people's eyes widen as they realized who he was. Well, at the time, who she was. This line is confusing.
Anyone who was
Oh,
all
let me
the
explain
people
this. Let
who
me wait, everyone shut up. I
all
want
the
to explain
people
that.
who all the
I want to
people
explain
who
this.
I
Shut up,
found
Kojak. I
out.
need chalk.
Oh,
So I can explain.
no.
I want to explain something. It's very important to the story. So Yakko, and this is trans.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yakko is trans in this.
Yakko is trans.
Yeah.
Does that fit in?
All the
Yeah.
most of the bi people that I found out that I ended up being trans at some point.
Dang it. I guess I'm being trans now.
I guess so.
I'm also
Dang it.
bi.
Well, we all should make out.
Does Yakko being trans here fit into Sydney's bisexuality in any way?
Kinda in a way. I mean, I guess you can make some observations. I guess.
I'm not making any statements. I'm just thinking out loud.
All right, let's continue.
He didn't like thinking about it too much. Sydney got on top of the water tower and stood silently listening to Yakko's song. He hummed along. Yakko hadn't noticed somehow. If he'd known that someone was listening, that guitar and all his songwriting notes would be thrown into hammer space the second he saw them. He began the chorus again, though his strums grew more. What was the word? Passionate? Close? Angry? Also close. Whatever he felt, it was intense. And this is why I've decided to pull these old white sheets from my head. I'll leave them folded neatly and tidy so that you'll know I'm out of hiding. Sid stopped listening and quietly tapped on Yakko's shoulder. Project, can you read this one? Quietly tapped on Yakko's shoulder.
Hey, that was great.
He said
You sound
quietly
so dead.
smiling. He said quietly smiling. Yakko practically jumped out of his hoodie, flinching at the touch. Project?
Holy sheesh. That's what I meant. Sheesh. You heard all that? Funny.
Yeah, Beans, what is funny, Beans?
I don't know. I don't know.
We're just trying to read
You
a serious...
forgot the funny.
We're reading a serious fanfic, Beans, okay? Can we just read, please?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. He asked, his tone slightly panicked, and his eyes wide. Sid laughed. Project, your turn.
Yes, I did, and it was amazing. I'm Sid.
He offered a handshake. Yakko eyed Sid's hand warily before reaching up to shake it.
Yakko Warner, pleasure to meet you.
Cha.
So, you liked it?
He asked, trying to regain the charisma he was known for. He shook his head.
Project.
Nice to meet you too.
Wait,
And
can I say
nice
can I
to
say
meet you.
Sid's lines? I won't say Sid's lines.
Are you
Because it's
sure?
my
Are
character.
you sure about this, Beans? I don't know.
I am sure.
Can we let Funny Monkey read Sid line?
Yeah, sure.
Wait, which mine?
Yeah.
Which one?
Sid, you're Sid, and Project is Yakko.
No, it won't be Sid. It's my character. It's my character.
No, Beans. You have
This is turning.
you have to let the characters go.
You just wanna make me feel absolute embarrassment.
Project,
Yeah.
I want you to have some fun with this.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta do the voice. You gotta do the
actually-
voice.
My
Oh, Project. I mean, not Project. Funny Monkey. Did he have to go? I think he was in the middle of saying my. I don't know what he said.
Probably. Let me read him. It's my character.
Yeah, but also, your character also kind of reminds me of you.
Yeah, that's the point. It's basically me, but better and gayer.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Let's continue.
All right, let me read the line. Hold on. Where were I? Nice to meet you. And yeah, I loved it. It was full of emotion, which I loved, and that guitar riff was great. Project.
Oh, hey, thanks. It's a little different from my usual stuff, though I'd explore more genres.
Explore more genres.
Explore more genres.
Yeah.
Yakko shrugged, starting to fall into his stereotypical mood.
Can I play you some? No. This is your line.
Oh, it's my turn. It's my turn. Yeah, I could play it. Yeah, I could see. Can I play a song on the guitar? I write my own stuff too. He smiled.
Yeah, have at it.
Yakko grinned, handing Sid the guitar and scooting a few inches away to make room. Sid began playing. It had a lot of bends.
Let me read this. Remember when you were young, you shone like the sun.
He sung quietly.
Shine on, you crazy
He said it
diamond.
loudly. Yakko swayed a bit to the rhythm, already enjoying the experience. This guy seemed nice enough, and his voice was pretty great. Sid kept playing and singing.
Come on, you target for far away laughter. Come on, you stranger, you legend, you air, and shine.
He does a little guitar solo. Yakko tapped his hand on the ground to the beat, his head bobbing back and forth. Damn, this guy was good. Sid stopped playing.
So what you think?
Yakko applauded. a genuine smile across his face.
That was pretty awesome. Your voice is great, by the way.
He commented with a flirty wink. He couldn't resist a good chance to flirt, no matter who it was with, or if he was even interested. Sid blushed a little.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man.
He gave his guitar back.
I'm kind of working on my own project.
Project?
Really? What kind of? Really? What kind of project? Theme? Fantastical? Musicy?
Yakko rattled off, finding his wit once again. It took him a moment, but he got there.
It's an album. It's an album about businessmen and how they're not the greatest people. You know, it's going to sound robotic and stuff. I don't have a name for it yet.
Ooh, that sure sounds optimistic. I hope you'll remember me when you're famous.
Yakko sighed dramatically, leaning back and covering his eyes with his forearm. An eye subtly peeked out from underneath to see if Sid laughed. Sid did laugh.
Maybe you could play on the album if you want, of course.
He smiled.
I'm flattered, but I wouldn't want to ruin it.
Yakko sat back up, trying to play off his comment as just a joke, though it seemed like he intended for it to be a real sentiment.
Ah, understandable. You live in this water tower?
He knocked on the water tower door. Period.
Water tower door.
No, wait, let me read this correctly. He knocked on the water tower door. Yakko jumped a bit.
I forgot period right there. I forgot period.
You have to stop here, Beans?
No. I said I forgot period right there.
Oh, okay, good. Go ahead, Project.
Quit the clanging, would ya?
Keep going.
Keep going, man.
My siblings are asleep in there.
He turned a bit towards the door, as if waiting to hear a noise come from inside.
Yeah, it's just me and my sis. We've been living in here since 1930, give or take a few years.
He shrugged.
Oh, sorry. Really, 1930? I've been around since the 60s, and I only got 5 lives left.
Oh, that's so funny.
Ah,
Yeesh, that's gotta be an interesting story. And I only got one, but some I could say I'm a bit impervious to death. You know, considering played a checkers game with him once. Oh man, those were the days. I also got shot by my sister. That was kind of funny.
That happened?
In an episode we're gonna watch in a few days.
Okay. Yakko laughed
Also,
soft.
my sister died for like a minute or some shit.
dang.
Yakko laughed softly, reminiscing for a bit.
I remember this guy named... Oh, I forgot his name. But he let me stay at his house. And I became his house cat. After that, the rest was a blur. But I do remember one thing. One of the ways I died. Some dog wearing a skirt hit me with a mallet. Oh well.
He shrugged and laughed a bit too.
Sorry if I'm going a bit into my past.
Wait, that's my line. Sorry if I'm going a bit into my past.
Oh god, I bet that was my sister.
Yakko rolled his eyes.
Is this mine or your line?
Your line.
Get some, alright? You're fine. People seem to open up to me pretty easy. I don't mind it.
Yeah, crazy. Also, I can tell. Can I tell you a little secret? My name is actually Sydney. I just go by Sid because my actual name embarrasses me.
Yakko nodded.
There isn't anything wrong with Sydney. It's a nice name, but I get what you mean. I go by a different name than one with two.
Shut up, Yakko, he thought to himself. You said that, and now he's gonna ask. And then you'll have to tell him that you aren't a real guy. What the hell's wrong with you? He shook his head at the thought, not knowing that his eyes grew wide for a moment while he panicked. He knew that he was a real guy. He
I
just
swear, if there's, I swear, if his girl name is anything dumb, I'm gonna quit the reading
is
on the
it
I,
spot.
I
is
actually
it is
don't
it
know what it is
Yakina?
because
Is
the guy
it
never told me. I don't really know what it is because he never told me, and I can't contact him because he blocked me. So we'll never know what his
oh
girl name is.
was he from the old
Because
animatics server?
the one I got banned from,
Yeah.
yeah, he was from that one.
Holy, uh, holy
I'm a
fuck! You met Yakko Warrior,
Yeah, it was based.
and you fucked it up.
I
Yeah,
did.
you ruined a beautiful relationship.
I know. Yes, where
He
are we?
knew that he was a real guy. He just didn't feel like it sometimes. Right now was one of those times.
Oh, thanks. Thank you for thinking it's a nice name.
He smiled at him.
Well, I should better be going.
Yakko was a bit taken aback that Sid didn't ask. But that didn't mean he wasn't insanely glad. He regained his composure almost instantly.
Ah, really? Can't you stay a little longer, or just a little longer?
He asked, his tone a mixture of joking and flirting.
I got work tomorrow. Here.
He wrote his phone number on a sticky note and he put it on his chest.
Call me.
He winked, trying to flirt. Yakko's eyes widened a bit of a blunt. Yakko's
Are you sure this is not a romance story?
It is. I told you it is. I told you it was.
Yakko's eyes widened up and a bit of a blush hit his cheeks, but he played it off.
Maybe I will see you said.
He smiled.
Your turn, project.
Stop by again anytime, though you might wind up trapped for longer by my siblings.
He stood grabbing his guitar and notebook.
I can't wait to meet them. Anyways, good night. And you gotta play me more songs, man.
He said while walking to the ladder of the water tower. Yakko chuckled.
I'll keep that in mind.
He waved, heading towards the door of the water tower. He watched Sid leave for a moment. He seemed like a nice guy, and Yakko found himself hoping to see him again. He opened the door and sat things down, getting to work on making his siblings breakfast. Sid waved back, and he began walking home.
I
I
like that guy.
He laughed a bit to himself while walking away.
The workers are going home.
Yeah, he's a worker now. He's going home.
He always was a worker. Now he's going home.
Ah, okay.
Should we read chapter 2?
Hell no. You
Chapter 2 gets
Beans.
good, man. Chapter 2 gets good.
Beans.
What?
Would it be safe to say that you have a tendency to get overexcited?
What do you mean?
Because you already decided to read chapter 2 later, but now
Dang
you're
it.
now
Dang it.
you're
You're right. You're right.
now you're getting like
No.
excited to read the next chapter, but we
Yeah,
already
because it's
decided.
like, what isn't this fun? I'm having fun.
Well, it's
It
interesting.
wasn't fun. It wasn't fucking fun.
Project.
Like I have no problem with you writing your own headcanon about Yakko having gender dysmorphia or just shipping him with your OC. But but there's like a difference between that and just straight up like forcing me to read
You know,
the fan fiction
Well, can I
and
say
record
that
it.
Project, I think you fit this character very well.
you do.
Yeah, because Project said himself that he has, a hard time laughing, and this Yakko is kind of like he's what do you call it, jaded. He's jaded
Yeah, he
to
is.
he's jaded to his own character, which
It's an
is
edgy teen.
yeah.
Yeah, he's edgy. Yeah,
Would
it's like the series we're making together. It's
It's an edgy
a
Tumblr
joy.
emo. An edgy Tumblr emo.
I think he does use Tumblr. Probably does.
Project, do you want to continue reading chapter 2 tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, if I say no, no.
If you say no, you're gay.
You know what? Maybe I am a little gay. Everyone's a little bit gay. Everyone's a little
True.
bit gay. You're gay for both. You're gay for both Yakko and Wacko.
That is true. And Dot. Wait.
I mean, there's a headcanon that Dot used to be is male to female trans.
That's dumb. Oh, I'm gonna get canceled. You know, I
It's
think
not. I mean, it's not. It's not as. It's not. There's a diff. At least there is. There isn't. There's a difference between. There isn't anything that.
Spin it out.
There isn't anything disproving it, unlike the wacko non-binary shit.
There's proof that he is, or not.
No, there's proof. No, there's proof that it's like an alternate universe thing because in the whole Noah's Ark other thing, but in the intro he's in the male symbol. When they say gender balance, he's in the male symbol.
I know what you're talking about. It's in the opening, right?
Yeah. What happened to Beans?
Beans is
Beans,
gone. Beans
Beans,
left.
we can't hear you.
Beans, what's up? I think the workers went home. Oh, Beans, you're back.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Well,
What do you have to say to the viewers after reading your fanfic?
well, we haven't even. Well, we only read one out of the 9 chapters.
Okay, what would you say is the theme of this chapter then? Because I feel
The
like
theme of the chapter is beginnings. It's like the theme of loneliness, if you can say, of meeting new people.
Oh, and
maybe a love interest.
meeting new people, that relates to The sweater song.
Yes, it actually kind of does in a way.
Yeah.
Are we just gonna make Are we just gonna make Weezer references?
You know, I think it's a valid way of interpreting this chapter.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be epic. Beans wants to fuck the 14-year-old Groucho Marx XP.
Is that true? What do you have to say to this accusation?
Say that again. Say that again.
Beans
Yeah.
wants to fuck the 14-year-old Groucho Marx XP.
What is that? Oh, anyways.
You see,
What?
Yakko Warner is like heavily inspired by Groucho Marx.
Hmm. Let me look that up then. Groucho Marx?
But this is true. That is true.
That he's like a comedian from the early 20th century.
Okay.
From like the 20s and I think he's from the 20s and 30s.
Okay.
Well, you have your own Wattpad. You have your own Wattpad account, Alan.
Yeah, but I haven't written anything yet because you know.
You read this stuff. What'd you read? What stuff did you read?
I read fanfics from the game that I play.
What
Spiral
game?
Knights.
Dang. And you read this fan fiction.
And I did. I added it to my reading list. You know what? Let me give you a star.
Really? My first star.
Viewers
You know,
at home, go ahead and give Beans a star.
You know,
Can you
as you know, as embarrassing as it was, like to actually read it, I would say it's actually good.
Thank you.
I would say it's based.
I think the later chapters gets good.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension.
Ooh.
A lot of and the third chapter is actually pretty spicy.
Oh,
I
God.
think can I just say this one last thing before we stop the recording?
Yeah, what do you want to say?
I think that this line is the best line in chapter 1. Maybe
I'm gonna.
maybe just need a sweater.
There's this line at the very end. Here's the thing. Here's a little backstory. We didn't get to finish this RP before he blocked me.
Okay.
So I had to write my own ending.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and which I stuck at writing endings. I referenced the first song Sidra said song, which is sung on Your Crazy Diamond.
Okay.
Pink Floyd song, and I'm thinking of adding a Weezer reference at the end.
Okay.
Like editing on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure that you have that reference added before we get to the last chapter then.
Don't worry, it's like the ninth chapter.
Something tells me there is something sexual about chapter 3 onwards.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. This person who plays Yakko, Yakko said isn't into NSFW stuff, so we couldn't. All there was kissing. That's it.
Okay.
A little spoiler.
Well, that's it for everybody.
Money machine. I'm a money machine.
Or money machine.
Yakko and Wacko. No. Yakko, Wacko, Dot. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot left the water tower for the day, a chill nipping at their noses. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What's a chill nipping? Did you write this line?
No, I did not.
The winter turn was on its way, and none of the three expected it to be this early. Unlike his siblings, Yakko enjoyed the cold. He liked the chill in the air and the shivering sensation went through your legs when you stepped in snow. And he didn't care if he froze. He'd be happy to see his final breath in the air. Oh. So,
Ooh.
Yakko again, continuing this theme of longing for it to be dead.
I know. Very sad.
Yeah.
He must drink some milk. Must stop drinking milk.
The three had left the water tower to just generally start some mischief, bother some people, but they had seemed to feel that it was too cold. So they figured they'd try to go to a bakery or something. Yakko took notice of Sid across the lot and practically dragged his siblings over. It's gonna take a while.
No, no.
Well, hello again. Well, hello
Oh,
again. Funny seeing you here, said with a wink.
Well, hello again.
Sid blushed a bit when he winked. Oh, hey, Wacko. We haven't talked in a while. He looked at Dot and Wacko. You must be Yakko's siblings. He smiled. Yakko grinned proudly. Yep. Wacko waved, shooting Yakko a confused look before saying, I'm Wacko. And I'm Princess Angelina. What is this?
You gotta say it all. You gotta say it all.
Let me guess. She says. Let me guess. She says, Princess Almanini, blah blah. Don't call me Dottie, and you die. She says all that. Let me guess.
No, she
That's
only
so fucking funny.
she only says the princess part, but you can call me Dot. Is this a line that she has in the show?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the whole funny thing she says on the show. It last time.
Like I'm a money machine.
Okay. Dot said with a smile.
Money machine.
You just don't call her Dottie, Yakko commented with a soft laugh. Kali Dami and you die. There you go. There you go, Project.
Ooh, it's a funny line.
Dot nodded grimly. Okay. Nice to meet you, Dot and Yakko. I'm Sid. What are you guys doing in this very cold weather? He fixed his red tie. Wacko bounced on his heels a bit. We didn't know it was going to be this cold, he commented, pulling his arms into his sweater. Yakko rolled his eyes at his siblings, shooting him a glance. Hey, at least you don't have to be shirtless to film. I feel like that's something Yakko would say, right?
Yeah.
You look like the cold anyway. You can't say anything. Dot crossed her arms. Yes, I can. Anything. Dot pulled out a pun gun, glaring at her brother. No, I'm too young to die.
You just reference. Yeah, you just referenced one of the episodes.
Yep.
That's so funny.
Hey,
Very funny.
let's see. Too young to die. He called dramatically in return, throwing his head back with his forearm across his eyes. Sid laughed. You guys are really zany. To the max. Well, at least you don't have to wear this dumb suit for your whole life. He turned to unbutton his suit jacket, but couldn't. Hey, wait. Beans. If Yakko is trans in this story, does that mean that he's showing his boobs the whole time?
Whoa.
Hashtag free the nipple?
Dang.
No. He never transitioned. He doesn't
Yeah, you already transitioned.
On the entirety of
Project, your mic is going in and out.
and he technically has dysphoria on, but never really transitions. In fact, he
Yeah, well,
completely
it's unknown.
abandoned.
The person, well, it's unknown if he transitioned or not because the person who blocked me, I mean, the person who did this with me blocked me, so I can't ask them.
Well, at the end, he ended up not transitioning.
I guess so. I don't know.
I know because I read chapter 9.
Did you?
Yes.
Really? That's cool.
The breath.
All right, let's continue reading.
Okay. So basically, hashtag free the nipple, right?
Yeah.
Project, are you against our movement or not?
Not. I'm fine with it. If it's what you want.
Okay, Project.
Me and Julie are fun with it. He does in front of me a lot.
Moving on. Moving on, please. He turned to unbutton his suit jacket but couldn't. Yakko laughs, full standing back up. Yeah, fair. We were drawn with clothes, but lucky for us, we can change. He grew quiet for a moment before letting his eyes lit up, and he turned to Sid. Do you want to come with us to the coffee shop nearby? Dot rolled her eyes behind him, her and Wacko sharing a look with an unreadable meaning. I'd love to, he smiled. Maybe we can get to know each other more. Maybe we can get to know each other more? That's the question.
Yeah.
He tried to unbutton his suit jacket again, but just gave up. Yakko grinned, nodding. Yeah, you two cool with that? He asked, turning to his siblings. They both gave him a tired nod, seemingly in sync with each other. Yeah, sure, your boyfriend can come, Dot muttered. I can't do that. I can't do that live.
What? What? Where?
He's not my boyfriend. There you go. Yakko stumbled over his words, face growing red.
Shouter moment.
Sorry about them. He chuckled nervously.
Oh,
Sid was blushing too. We're not a thing, but maybe later. He winked. And it's fine.
Beans, what the fuck?
He said, still blushing.
You just hired a Julia bot. What the fuck? You just yesterday you didn't even know. You didn't even know she existed a day ago.
There's a Julia bot?
Yeah.
I'm a money machine.
He said, still blushing. Yakko's eyes widened, a nervous smile across his red face. His still red face. Yeah, anyway, let's go. Dot gave a smug grin, sharing a fist bump with Wacko. They walked into the nearby coffee shop. Sid was still blushing. So, what are you gonna get to drink, Yakko? I'm thinking of getting hot chocolate. I'm thinking of a mocha.
What do you want for a drink, Yakko?
Hold it.
What do you want to drink, Yakko?
I'm thinking a mocha iced coffee. Yeah, it's cold, but I'm feeling something
iced. He shrugged, already knowing Wacko and Dot's orders. Pretty ironic, isn't it? He laughed a bit. I can pay if you want me to. Oh, no, I got it, thanks though. Yakko smiled softly, getting in line. Hey Sibs, you two you two go find a table. You want a snack? Wacko's eyes lit up, which made Yakko smile a little brighter. Yeah, you can get me a banana bread. Wacko asked excitedly. Sure thing. How about you, Dot? Can you grab me a cake pop? She asked, already seated nearby. Yep, Yakko smiled, mentally taking note of what his siblings wanted. That's very much detailed for just a minor thing, don't you think?
What do you say?
It's a lot of detail for just a minor thing.
As in,
Them getting snacks for each other?
I mean, we got Aditya, right?
I guess, but this is kind of minor. When are
I know.
these cake pops and banana breads gonna come up in the future?
Coming in a second.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Are they gonna banana bread and cake pop each other later? Is that what's going on?
No, they're gonna eat it.
Oh, okay then. And how is that gonna play into the story?
Just
How is the cake pop and the banana bread gonna advance the relationship between Sid and Yakko?
because it's gonna bring them closer, right?
How?
You'll
Because
find out why. You'll find out
Yakko's
why.
gonna pop Sid's cake, if you know what I mean,
With his banana bread?
with his banana bread.
So it's sad that doesn't happen.
Let's continue then. Sid waited in line with Yakko. So how did you sleep last night? I slept pretty well. Sid was kinda lying. He had bags under his eyes. Yakko had a way of knowing when he was lied to, and he definitely could tell that Sid was lying through his teeth. He figured a coffee shop wasn't the right place to talk about it, so he lied as well. He laughed, a glimmer of concern in his eyes. I slept all right. I mean, with a ball pit for a bed, who wouldn't? You slept in a ball pit? I sleep in a cardboard box. He knew Yakko lied too. Dang, are you lucky. But I bet a ball pit could be uncomfortable at times. Some nights it is. Some nights it isn't. It's a lot of stimulation though. Makes my brain kind of shut down. Yakko shrugged, approaching the cash register. He made his order, 2 hot chocolates with whipped cream, an iced mocha, a slice of banana bread, a cake pop, and 2 vignettes. Vignettes. Vignettes? What is that?
Uh,
Excuse me?
Biscuits?
Excuse me?
I thought it was probably
Too
croissants or
big
something.
what, you said?
Big
I think they're
nets.
Too big what?
croissants.
2 big nets.
Look it up.
Bind
I
nets.
think
Almost
they're
thought it said 2 big
croissants.
nuts.
You mean
Grab one
baguettes?
of
Is
these
that what that
nuts.
is?
Probably. Probably baguettes.
Okay then. He thanked the cashier and stood to the side, waiting for Sid to order. Sid ordered a hot chocolate with just some marshmallows. He thanked the cashier too. Hey, I'll be at the table if you need me. He sat with Wacko and Dot. Yakko nodding, smiling fondly at his siblings and friend. Hopefully they would get along. Do in-laws normally get along, Beans?
What do you mean in-laws? What
Do
do you mean by
in-laws
that?
normally get along, I said.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
What'd you say?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do.
Yes.
Do you think these in-laws are gonna get along?
Yes, I think they will.
Are they gonna get along too well?
No,
You sure?
just friends.
Just
Just
friends?
friends.
Just friends?
Mhm.
Kind of
Mhm.
like Yakko and Sid, just friends?
No. They're not friends. I mean, they're friends, but friends.
What does that mean exactly?
Hey, poor. They're like a thing.
Are they a thing?
No, not yet. Next chapter.
Okay then. Alright. Give me a moment.
Look, I'm a money machine.
Hopefully they would get along. At the table, Wacko and Dot were arguing in hushed tones. No, shut up. That's the dumbest thing you've ever said. I don't say dumb things. You just don't like my ideas. Shut up. Coming. Dot turned away from her brother, smiling. Hi, sorry about him. He's a little slow. How did you and Yakko meet? She asked sweetly, giving Yakko an elbow to the stomach under the table. Sid sat in front of them. Well, he was playing guitar in a movie lot, and me and him bonded over some music. We got to know each other a bit, and here we are now. He tried to explain what happened last night. Da? Da. How do I say da? Can you say da for me?
What?
Did you say da?
So I'm not.
Can you say da?
Da.
Can you
Dot.
say
Da.
okay. Dot sighed. That's sweet. He doesn't play guitar often, at least not around people. He used to though. Wonder what happened. I know what happened. Wacko leaned head on the table. We got shut down. He was begging for more time on the show, but they didn't let us. He stopped doing a lot of things after that. Dot nodded. We all did though. She shrugged. Sorry, that was kind of sad, huh? She chuckled, dragging her finger on the edge of the table. This is sad. Maybe you'll get a reboot. I don't remember my show. I think there was only 2 episodes I was in. He looked at Yakko, grabbing the drinks and snacks, and sighed. Man, that's gotta suck.
It is the
If we got a reboot,
finish.
maybe you can be in it, Dot suggested with a smile. Hey, anybody hungry? A voice called from behind them. Yakko approached the table with their drinks and food, sitting down in between Sid and Dot. He divided the food accordingly, setting the hot chocolates down in a way where if one got hit, he could catch it before it splattered everywhere. He knew his siblings, and he knew they would most likely fight at some point before they left. What you talking about over there? They Wacko got cut off by Dot clamping her hands over his mouth. Not much. He said over Wacko's muffled speech. Okay, that'll be nice. He said quietly, sipping his hot chocolate. Pretty good. He got out a little notebook and began drawing. Sid looked like he was in his own little world. Yakko stared for a moment, and a small smile on his face before he quickly looked back at his food. Dot cocked an eyebrow at him, and he glared back. What are you drawing? Yakko asked softly, looking over Sid's shoulder.
Drawing a map.
I guess
Map, but that looks like my eyes because I keep getting lost in them. Ah!
I don't think.
That's a reference to Hey Andy.
Yeah, the Mario comic with Princess Peach. Looking over Sid's shoulder at his art. Just stuff that comes to mind, you said quietly. He was drawing two businessmen shaking hands, but one of the businessmen was on fire. The drawing was very detailed. How was the food? Pretty good. Want some? Yakko leaned the plate towards Sid a bit. One baguette still there, I'm gonna say. He was a bit concerned by the drawing, but, in all honesty, he barely had the energy to process the implications of it. No, thank you, though. He pushed the plate back. He took a sip of his hot chocolate. Suit yourself. Yakko shrugged, making smiley faces in the cup he drew. He didn't know what to talk about. He didn't want to spark an argument between Yakko and Dot. And he didn't want to interrupt Sid's drawing, so he just hummed to himself until he wanted to finish his food. He stopped drawing. Hey, Yakko, do you have any extra room in that water tower? I'm tired of sleeping outside. He put the little book in his suit pocket, and he finished his hot chocolate. The place is pretty roomy. Wait, what do you mean, sleeping out? Yakko asked, his eyes wide with sudden concern. Oh, I sleep outside the Warner Studios in a little cardboard box. I feel like I've told you this. What? You said a cardboard box. I thought you at least meant inside. Yakov's brow furrowed in worry. Of course there's room. The water tower is huge and heated to some extent. Oh, I'll bring what I have to the water tower. He fixed his tie. What are you guys going to do today? I don't know yet. I'm thinking we might just hang out inside since it's so cold out. Wacko shrugged, the concern beginning to fade from his tone. What if we went shopping? Dot suggested with a grin. Wacko groaned in response. Well, what are you gonna say? What were you gonna say we should do, Mr. Party Pooper? Literally anything else. Shopping with you is so boring. Wacko complained. We just sit there while you look at dresses the whole time. Exactly, it's fun. Is this in reference to any line they said in the show, Project? Does Dot actually like to shop?
I have no idea. I haven't watched the old show in, I shit you not, like 2 years.
Oh, I guess
And I
rewatching.
don't remember anything from that, like that, about that.
Okay. So I guess that's another reason you want to rewatch the show then. After yeah. Wacko and Dot started talking over each other, and Yakko just sighed and pinched the bridge of his nose. He looked so tired, and it was only 10 a.m. Sid quietly stood up. I'm gonna grab my stuff and break in the water tower. I'll see you guys later. He walked out of the coffee shop quickly. Yakko nodded, barely able to open his mouth to say goodbye before Sid was gone. His sigh was heavier this time as he sunk into his chair. This was going to be a long day, wasn't it? And yeah, that's it. Wow. I'm gonna give that a star. There you go. I guess it's interesting. I mean, the only thing that happened in here is they introduced the characters. That's it. And the banana bread didn't come up. He didn't pop his cake with banana bread, Project. I think there was a fatal
No,
mistake.
that was a sex joke that I made. The
I know, Project. You
Beans.
didn't have to explain it. I know. Well, that's the end of the recording. Goodbye. Bye, Beans.
Beans is gone.
Yeah, he's gonna come back. Eating dinner.
All right.
Okay, Beans, bye.
Sid was in the warm water tower, playing Yakko's guitar. He was singing a new song he wrote. I can't do this. I can't sing. And anyone, can you sing this one for me, Beans? Or
I cannot.
Project or Horror Fanatic, can you sing this one? I can't sing it.
No, I don't want to sing that crap. I'm sorry.
So unenthusiastic. Uncooperative is the word. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from pain.
Pain.
He sung quietly.
Oh.
Yakko creaked the door.
I swear to God, that's something. That's I wish you were here.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Say what?
From Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah.
That was from Wish You Were Here. So you think you can tell heaven from hell? Yeah.
Yeah, he sung quietly. Yakko creaked the door. Yakko creaked the door of the water tower open, dragging himself inside. He sent Wacko and Dot to go bother Ralph, and while he usually would go with, he was too exhausted to care. He made it inside quietly enough, laying his head back on the door as soon as it was shut. He was thankful for the peace and quiet. Wait, it wasn't entirely quiet. Someone was singing. Nicely too, they sounded great. Yakko crept around into the living room, peeking past the wall to see Sid with his guitar. He smiled, deciding to stay behind the wall and listen for a moment. Sid kept playing and singing. How I wish you were here.
The wall? The wall?
The wall.
You mean like the wall? Like another brick in the wall?
Whoa.
We were just two souls swimming in a fishbowl. Year after year, he sung loudly. Oh, how I wish you were here. Yakko swayed to the rhythm, accidentally tripping over a hat rack. Since when did they have a hat rack? He fell onto the floor, next to the wall, making a loud thunk sound. Oh, damn it, he muttered, trying to stay quiet. Sid stopped playing. Hello? Is anybody there? He sat down the guitar and walked to where the noise came from. Yakko was trying to pull himself off of the floor fast enough, but he hit his head pretty bad, so he was a little too dizzy to stand. Nope, nobody's here, he called out. Then realizing what he had done and smacking himself on the forehead, ow, ow. The narrator says ow? What? Beans. The narrator says ow.
It's Sid. Oh no, it's not Sid. It's Yakko talking, like in his head.
So the quotations are supposed to be over here.
Sorry, what?
The narrator says "ow."
No.
It's not in
Yeah,
quotation.
the narrator is its own person.
Oh. So who's the narrator in the story? Is it Yakko?
It's you. You're the one reading it.
So I'm canon in the story?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay then. Oh hey, Yakko. He stood in front of him. I didn't know where to put my cardboard box, so I put it in your room, if that's okay. I was thinking we could maybe share a room together. I'll just be in the corner, if that's okay. Oh yeah, it's fine. That's fine. I don't mind. As long as you're sleeping inside. Yakko
In the
shot Sid a
corner.
smile, slowly standing up with a wince. Is everything okay? You were really quick to leave earlier. I'm not really good with other people. Dot and Wacko are too loud and stuff for me. Also, I'm a bit curious with something. Fair.
This part's golden. This part's golden.
What you curious about?
This
Yakko
part's good.
asked, regaining his lost composure
Yes.
after the fall. He rocked on his heels slightly, hands behind his back. What's your sexuality? I'm just very curious. He's definitely not gonna use this for future reference.
I might guess.
Anyway, how's your sexual life?
Yakko looked taken aback by the question, and it took him a second to remember what to say. I'm asexual biromantic. Oh, that's a big word. How about you? I'm bi, I think. Also, what's an asexual and biromantic?
Wait, I know what that was from.
What?
Is this a reference?
That was one with such your race sexuality.
Oh, that's Ray? Ray Ayanami? That's...
Yeah, that's her sexuality, asexual binomial.
Is that
this all just to piss off Lobster?
is that True Beans? Is that what you based this on?
Yeah.
Okay then.
I knew it.
But I think bi, it's like think bi but without sexual attraction. If that makes any sense. Yakko fumbled over his words. God, he used to be so good at explaining it. Why was he struggling so much today? Oh, I get it. But you'll still be in a relationship, right? Just curious. He laughed nervously. I mean, yeah. Yakko nodded, oblivious as ever. Romance is fine. You could say I'm a romantic even. He laughed. Ha. Do you want to watch a movie or something?
Tumbling
Sure.
down, tumbling down, tumbling
Yakko nodded
down.
again, heading to the couch. He sat on his end, leaning back. What do you want to watch? He sat on the other end. How about a scary movie? Somebody still hasn't left the Halloween spirit. Yakko chuckled. We don't keep many of those. They give Dot nightmares. But we have a few. Which one? I love Halloween. What do you have? He sat back on the couch. We have Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, and the original Halloween. Are we playing music?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, I guess Beans, is this the official background music for the fanfic?
Wait, what's playing?
Meetings.
Tumbling down, tumbling down, tumbling down.
This is the official music. This is official.
Okay, I'm gonna pin it then. I'm gonna save it for later. I guess in a way, Yakko is tumbling down, right?
Yeah.
And Sid has to pick him up. Is that what's going on?
And some of the story ideas turn to nothing.
I guess
You
so.
have to press Sid on the wall.
Okay, moving on. Back to the story. That's about it, unless you count Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is more scary good than scary. He laughed a bit at his own joke. Sure. Yakko said with a thumbs up, pushing it to the DVD player. He grabbed the remote and sat down on the couch, pressing play. Haven't watched a movie in ages. Me neither, but I remember it being great. He scooted a bit closer to him. Who scooted a bit closer to who, Beans?
Sid did.
Okay. The movie began playing. Yeah, me too. Yakko leaned back against the pillows, still drowsy from earlier. If he didn't want to keep his guard up as much, he'd probably pass out right there. Sid watched the movie. He said a few lines from the film. This is one of my favorite movies. He scooted a bit closer. Oh, nice. Yakko smiled. Just close enough to feel the body heat between the two. Ooh. He felt like his face was getting redder, but he'd hoped it wasn't evident. Sid was blushing. Yeah. He was basically breathing on him. Wow, Beans, you really cut to the chase here.
I'm getting sweaty from this, guys. Not gonna lie.
The movie is about to get good now. Yakko felt chills, though he wasn't actually quite warm. He was actually quite warm. Yeah, he said softly. Not paying attention to the movie anymore. Sid smiled at Yakko. Hi. They were very close. Sid's face was red as a tomato. Yakko stared back at Sid with wide eyes and a bright red face. Can you do this hee hee hoo hoo line, Beans?
Yee-hoo.
Okay. I think you do the onomatopoeias better than me. He
Bro, how
chuckled.
come this fan fiction has over 100 people reading this?
Because it's a top 10 in Animaniacs. Right? It's top 10, right?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Moving on. He was looking in his eyes. I never got too close to anyone like this. Yakko felt like he was about to spontaneously combust. What did they do now? He had crushes on others before. That was a given. He was still technically a 14-year-old boy. Ooh. Beans, are we okay to read this one?
1 second. A read what line?
Are we still okay to read this? He's a 14-year-old boy.
So Sid.
Okay. But he never really done anything about it past flirting. Sid thought he'd never do this in real life. What if he messes up? Now he's panicking. What if he hurts Yakko in a way? I don't know what I'm doing, Yakko said quietly, his voice more confused and awkward than most ever got to see him. 90 years of existing on this planet, and I still haven't gotten this close. How about that, huh? He laughed, trying to lighten the mood. That's quite funny. It's also funny how we don't age. I've been 15 my whole life. Sid was freaking out. Their relationship could be ruined if he messes up right now. He's freaking out even more. He tugged on his suit jacket. getting hot in here. Yeah, just a little. Yakko fidgeted with his sweater. Oh, his sweater, Beans, his sweater. Beans, his sweater.
I think I'm gonna go.
If you want to destroy my... He's about to destroy his sweater. Beans. Beans.
Pull this thread as I walk away.
Okay, Yakko is about to destroy his own sweater right now. This is not a good thing.
Oh no.
Still obviously making no move to get away from the closeness. I feel like the tension in the air has become an object. The tension in the air has become a physical obstacle that Yakko has to overcome now. He clearly wasn't bothered by it. He gave him a little peck on the lips. Ooh, there. He blushed even more. Yakko sat stunned for a moment before he started smiling, and he shrunk into himself for a bit. He felt giddy and happy, and lots of airy and happy giggly. Lots of airy and happy and giggly. Hehe. Sid began laughing. I never kissed another person before. He gave another very, very small kiss.
That's a fucking lie.
Yakko went from a small smile to a huge grin, and he covered his face with his hands. Holy hell, I'm gonna say that. Holy hell.
Holy crap, Lois.
He felt like he was going to combust, but for a totally different reason. Oh, what reason is this gonna be, Beans?
He's gonna kiss.
Because of love.
Emphasis on a bust, right? Not in the combust. Oh, wait a second. No. This is not a good word to use, Beans. Were you the one to write this?
Yeah.
Why did you use this word? I feel like you have this word in your pocket. You use this one a lot, right? I mean, it takes two words that are really good and you put them together. I feel like this says a lot, right?
Right.
Okay then. He twisted his hands at the wrist, and from the way that the rest of him looked, it probably meant he was happy. Sid looked away, ever embarrassed. Sorry if I'm doing anything wrong here. Sid was about to die from either love or embarrassment. No, you're fine. I liked it. Yakko said quietly, leaning his head just a bit closer. He scratched the back of his neck with a nervous smile. Oh, okay. Sid kissed his cheek. Should we tell Wacko and Dot about us? Yakko thought for a second Wacko wouldn't care, save for mocking him every once in a while. And Dot would probably say, I want to be the bridesmaid. So he was sure they wouldn't react poorly. He just didn't know if he would be okay with telling them, especially since Sid living with them. They'd probably make sex jokes about it, and he wasn't very comfortable with that. Oh, okay then. But since he's asexual, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Let's wait to tell them. Let's keep this our secret. Another kiss. Knowing Sid, he'd probably laugh at the sex jokes and other stuff Wacko and Dot would say. Yakko nodded, letting out a breath, and he didn't know he was holding. Letting out a breath he didn't know he was holding. When you put it like that, sounds dirty. He laughed and glanced at the time. 5:30 p.m. Oh man, I need to get out. I need to get started on dinner. He hopped off to the couch, already making his way to the kitchen. You finish the movie if you want. I should be done by 6. Oh, okay. Do you need help making dinner? He got up and walked to the kitchen. Whoa, this is a huge kitchen, right? Like I said, we have plenty of space in here. And you can help if you wanna. But I'm kinda fast-paced when cooking, so watch out. Yakko said with a wink, taking a quick spin and turning to the refrigerator. What to make? What to wait? He stood for a moment, before smacking his forehead. Crap, I forgot to grab Dot and Wacko. Oh god, they've been alone for hours. He pushed the door shut and practically zoomed out the door, looking off to the balcony. Wacko, Dot, Dibs, you there? He called, a panic growing in his voice. Sid quickly followed. I'm a good cook? I'm a good cook. I'm a good cook? Why don't you find them while I cook dinner? Why is I'm a good cook a question?
I'm a good cook. I can cook.
But that should be a period, not a question mark.
Dang.
I can make some spaghetti or something? Yakko turned back to Sid, worry in his eyes. You sure? I can work on dinner as soon as I come back. He almost looked like a terrified mother who just lost her children. I guess this is a Wacko. Yakko is showing his female side. Since he's trans in this story.
Yeah.
I gotta find him. He put a finger to his lips. Just go get them. And when you come back with them, you'll have a warm dinner. He tried to reassure him that everything will be okay. Yakko nodded, brows furrowed. Okay. See when I get back. He darted down the ladder, nearly skipping at least half of it. What if his siblings were in danger? What if they were hurt? What if his mind raced? As he ran around the movie lot, praying to whatever higher power there might be, that they're okay. Sid quickly ran inside and began making dinner. He decided to make tacos because it's Tuesday. Oh, is this a Taco Tuesday situation, Beans?
Yeah.
I hope they're okay, he said while making rice. Well, that's it. That's heaven and hell. I suppose the kissy kissy part is heaven and the hell is the part where Yakko is really worried and runs out. That's the hell part. And that's the end of the song. Okay, I'll put a stop.
What do you think of the chapter?
I think
it was
ahead.
alright.
I think this one had a bit more syntax errors towards the end. But other than that, yeah, I get the idea.
Yeah.
I feel like chapter 1 is still the strongest chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Chapter 4, Diner. Okay. By Beans204. He rushed down to the mall, which was next the place he thought they would go. He scrambled inside, running into Dot's favorite shop to see her coming out of the dressing room. Dot, oh my god, I found you. Where's Wacko? He asked, frantically. In the other dressing room. Dot shrugged. Why do you look like you've been running? I'll explain once both of you are out of here. Wakko left the dressing room waving to Yakko. Hey, I didn't know you were here too. What a coinky-dink. Coinky? That's the idea. It's supposed to say coinky-dink, but it says coink-dink. Coinky-dink. Coinky-dink, that's what it says, not coinky-dink. Is it supposed to be coinky-dink? Beans, I need you in the chat. Is it coinky dink or coinky dink? Okay, coinky dink. Then it's supposed to say coin wink winky. Coin winky dink. Coinky dink. Okay. Yakko stared at his siblings, and his expression turned from concern to anger. Oh, uh-oh. I suppose that's Yakko. Wakko saying uh-oh. What the hell are you two thinking? Yakko asked, his voice quiet despite sounding like he was yelling. Oh, I didn't yell there. Dot instantly felt guilty. We figured since you're already out here, we'd run by them all. There was something we needed to get, she said sheepishly. And you didn't think to tell me? I was waiting for you two for 2 hours. What could possibly be so important that you had to sneak off without supervision? Wakko and Dot shared a smile before finding a shopping bag and handing it to Yakko. What the? Is this a bribe? No. Wakko shook his head. Just open it. Yakko begrudgingly opened it and found a blue mug that said, Best Big Brother Ever. His anger softened. And he stared at the mug with a little smile. For your birthday, Dot sheepishly. Since we couldn't go get you a present when it happened. Yakko sighed, setting the mug back into the bag. Look, guys, I'm not mad, and I'm not disappointed. I just wish you would have told me. I would have been okay with it if you just asked. We're sorry, Yakko. We're sorry. Wakko sighed. We'll ask next time, Dot nodded. Yakko gave his siblings a tired smile. Come here. Project, you're still with me here?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll keep going. Okay. Yakko gave his siblings a tired smile. Come here. He sat on one knee and pulled them both into a hug. Okay, we need to get back. Sid's making dinner tonight. Sid was at home trying not to burn the meat. Don't burn, or something like that. He finished dicing all of the tomatoes and other stuff. He got out the plates and began making tortillas. You know I'm going to love it here, Sid said to himself as he began putting the plates out. And he stepped back. Done. I finished dinner before they can even get here. He smiled smugly. The three got home quickly, and Yakko opened the door a few minutes after Sid finished making food. We're back. We're back. They called simultaneously, heading inside. Yakko held his new mug close to him until he could put it away in the cupboard. That smells amazing. What do you make? He calls towards the kitchen. I made burritos. He put the plates of food on the table. I hope you all enjoy. He smiled. And I made yours extra with love. No, I made yours with extra love, Yakko. He said quietly, him attempting to flirt. Daw. You see, daw is just not a word that's in my language. That's why I'm having trouble with that one. Vernacular. Daw is not in my lexicon.
Dude, that just reminds me of that Dylan Talchi quote.
Which is
A
what?
daw in a daw. Vaw.
Okay. I suppose we share equal knowledge of fringe subjects. Daw. Yakko smiled. Hey, hashtag bring back Fred. I'm reading the fanfic. I'm part ways in. Yakko smiled dramatically, putting his hand to his heart. You're the sweetest. He flipped his hand he flipped his hand the way that people call gay. He flipped his hand the way that people call gay and headed to the kitchen, showing off his mug. It seems like Bean doesn't like when people call hand gestures gay. Oh, you read the whole thing. Yeah. I guess you're more of a Bean stan than I am. Hashtag bring back Fred. He updated, really? Did he add a new chapter or did he just make some edits? What happened? New chapter or edits? Oh, I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Oh, what did we learn? Beans doesn't like it when people call hand gestures gay. Look what Wacko and Dot got for me. His eyes lit up as he pulled it out. A bright smile on his face. Oh, that's freaking amazing. You do seem like a great brother, he smiled. I still think we should tell them about us. Yakko nodded. If you want to, we can. I'm not opposed to it. He shrugged. I just want to make sure they don't get the wrong idea. If that makes any sense. Yeah, you got a good point. I'm gonna tell them. It'll be a lot easier if we do it now. Sid walked into the dining room. Yakko nodded. Yakko? Do you want to do it? Or should I? He called, putting away his mug. I think you should. He called back. Yakko ran Yakko ran a hand over his face. Oh boy. This was gonna be interesting. Once again, Beans is speaking into dialogue. Well, I guess this isn't Beans, this is the other guy he wrote the fanfic with, and I don't know. Hey, Sibs, could you come here for a sec? Wacko and Dot looked up from the TV, which they had changed to something on Cartoon Network. Do we have to move? Wacko whined, crawling across the couch. Get off me, Dot shouted, pushing her brother's leg away. Ah, what's the matter? Do you not want me laying on you? Wacko teased, laying across her lap now. Ah, you suck. I'll tell him later. Yakko laughed. Heh. Okay. Dang, they eat quick. He grabbed the plates from the table and put them in the sink. Hey, Yakko, I'll be in my room if you need me. Sid walked away to the room, and he laid in his cardboard box in the corner of the room. So that's that. Dinner. I guess this is more character building for Dot and Wacko in this chapter. You know. Yeah. I guess well, and Yakko, of course. I guess going into Yakko's character about how he probably worries too much.
Beans left.
He left the server?
No, he left the VC.
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll just wait for him to come back. I don't know if his internet went out or anything like that. But as far as we're concerned, we're done for the day. Sid was playing video games with Wacko while Yakko was on his phone with someone. God knows what Dot is doing. Dang it. You won a freaking again, he said to Wacko. He beaten Sid for the 5th time already. Can you think about that, Project? Somebody beating somebody?
I'm thinking about
He beat Sid for the 5th time. Can you think about that?
Excuse me, what the fuck?
What do you mean?
You mean no, what does beans mean? Does he mean uh uh be beating Sid at like at video games or something? Or does he mean actually beating up Sid?
I think Beans is using ambiguous language. So it could mean either or. I think that's what he's trying to do here. Remember when he said combust? Same thing. Okay. Wacko laughed, pumping a fist in the air. Ah, winning streak. Yakko was pacing across the back of the room, gesturing wildly with his hands. He was saying something inaudible, but it sounded important. Sid hissed at Wacko. I wonder what Yakko is talking to. He looked at Yakko walking around on the phone. Don't know. Seems important. Since he's been there for hours. Wacko shrugged. Do you think he's alright? I hope so. I hope it's good news. He won for the first time. Ah, I won. Ah, Yakko groaned, leaning back a bit. I'll get you next round. He was suddenly cut off by Yakko excitedly shouting. Really? He glanced at his phone and put back up to his face. Yes, yes. I completely understand. Of course. Hmm. Thank you so very much. You're not gonna regret this. So, who is that, Yakko? He stood up. Is it good news? Yakko hung up and turned to Sid and Wacko with a huge grin on his face. Something Wacko and Dot hadn't seen in 22 years. I'm starting to remember that this Yakko is like kind of depressed. I think this version of Yakko has like an identity crisis or something. Like, aside from the fact that he's trans, I think he has an identity like dissociative disorder, whatever it's called. But that's just me reading into the text. We got the reboot. We do? He cheered. I can finally be on TV. Wacko jumped up and cheered, bouncing so high that he almost hit the ceiling. We got it? We actually got approved for the reboot on Hulu? I can't believe this. I've been asking for years now. I've got to tell Dot. Yakko exclaimed, clapping his hands and letting out some nervous energy. He rushed to Dot's room and shouted, come to the living room. Sid was doing cartwheels around the living room. Oh, this is the best day of my life. Wait for this reboot. I should change the suit. He ran into the bathroom and came out with a way darker suit and a redder tie. Dot dragged herself out of her room. What's with all the noise? Can't a girl do her makeup in peace? She grumbled. We got the reboot. Wait, what? We actually got a reboot from Hulu? For real? Dot bounced on the pillows of the couch, excitedly clapping. Oh my god, really? I'm so excited. Yakko turned to Sid. That looks amazing on you, he said with a grin. Running his fingers through the fur on his head, he blushed. Do you think I'll be able to be on the show? Maybe as a background character? He fixed his fur and tie. Of course you will. I'll make sure of it. Yakko kept his grin, still flapping his hands. He only would stim or fidget if he trusts the people around him, and is experiencing an extreme emotion, mostly because of masking. Oh yeah, that's Yakko's thing. That's the problem he has. Well, problem. Issue? That's the issue. Part of the issue. This was a clear sign that A, none of the excitement was faked, and B, that he really trusted Sid and his siblings. This is so freaking exciting. We should have a huge party. We should march in the streets and promote our own show. He smiled at Yakko. They usually have a party for everyone who works here when they announce a new show. So we'll have a party either way. Yakko stared at his siblings in disbelief. Can you believe it? This is actually happening. This is so exciting. He hugged Yakko happily. When do we start recording? In 2 weeks. Yakko hung back, squeezing Sid tightly. He pulled away and held him by the shoulders, grinning ear to ear. This is gonna be amazing. Yes, it is. But what if the fans don't like me? Did you tell the people who made the show about me? What if I'll be forgotten again? Sid began panicking. No, Sid, calm down. It's okay. They love you. I'm sure of it. Yakko pulled Sid close again, patting him lightly on the back. He hugged him again. Okay. I'm very excited to be at least on the show. It's gonna be great. Yakko continued to grin. Wacko calmed down a bit. Now, just rocking in his seat. When's the party? Tomorrow night, Yakko nodded. Dot glanced between her two brothers. Shopping trip? Yakko chuckled, rolling his eye. Sure, shopping trip. Maybe I can get the ties for the show. Maybe some new suits. Let's go shopping. Sid smiled brightly. Yeah, I probably need some new clothes too. Yakko shook his head with a smile. Let me make us some lunch first. Then we can head. Alright. Can I help make lunch? He walked into the kitchen and looked in the fridge. Yakko and Sid began making lunch. That's the end of the chapter. So the chapter is the news, and the news is that the show got a reboot. Pretty standard chapter. Standard. Moving the plot forward. Well, not exactly moving the plot forward, but well, I guess it is moving the plot forward because Yakko is genuinely happy, and that's not something that Yakko normally does. At least the Yakko in this story normally does. So that is moving the plot forward, I guess.
Okay. So, just me here in VC, and I'm starting the recording. Last time it was chapter 5. It was the news, and Wacko got a letter that the show was due for another reboot. And now they're throwing a party for it, I think. I think Sid is cooking, but I'm not sure. Sid is doing something. Okay. The party. Sid was sitting in the corner of the party. He was too scared to join in on the fun. He decided to just draw in peace. In the corner, ignoring what's going on. He hummed to himself. Sid got frustrated at a drawing, so he ripped it out of the notebook and threw it in the trash. He heard the Warners and others celebrating the reboot they got. Yakko was grinning ear to ear, enjoying the party as a whole. One thing was missing, though. He turned around looking for Sid. Once his eyes landed on him, he excused himself from the conversation and sat down next to his boyfriend? ? You alright? He asked softly, setting his hand on top of one of Sid's. Yeah, I'm fine. I just don't think I should be here. Nobody knows me here. He laid his head on his boyfriend's shoulder. Hey, it's alright. They don't know you yet. When they do, you'll be surprised at how well you fit in. Yakko took Sid's hand, rubbing the back of his hand with his thumb. I was terrified when they first brought me out of the water tower. I thought they'd all hate me. So did Wacko and Dot, but they loved us, and we had an entire 5-year run in the 90s. I bet you anything that it'll be like that for you too. Thanks, hun. He hugged him. I get nervous with this stuff. That's why people don't know about me. I always turn down reboots and new episodes. Well, we all get nervous, especially you. Yakko joked with a smile. But I think you'll be great. Do you want to come back to the party with me, or do you want to stay here? She said. I want to come back to the party. He stood up. Also, Yakko, thank you for everything you've done for me. Letting me stay in the water tower, and a bunch of other stuff. He smiled brightly at him. Of course. Yakko grinned back. Don't even mention it. He tugged on Sid's hand. Come on, let's get back to the party. Okay. They walked to the party holding hands. So, when are we gonna have any cake? I wonder what flavor it is. No idea. Hopefully soon. Yakko caught up to Wacko and Dot, who were talking to Bugs Bunny. Just as he began to speak, a voice came over the speakers. Attention all party goers. We will be having the Warners perform some of their token songs from the show tonight. Such as Wacko's World. I'm sure Project loves that one. So be sure not to leave. The voice kept talking, but Yakko glanced at his siblings. We are? Apparently, Dot commented. They didn't tell us about this. Wacko said quietly, crossing his arms. What token song? Do they mean that theme song you had? He asked quietly. You remember the theme song, right, Yakko? Not that one. We need everyone for that. And besides, of course I remember the theme song. I remember every song I ever sang on that show. Yakko cocked his head to the side, tuning through the songs that they might want him to sing. It suddenly dawned on him what they wanted. Oh, damn it, he muttered. What? What's wrong? Oh, wait. I think I know what they want you to sing. Well, good luck, honey. Good luck, honey. Honey. He gave a little kiss and quickly walked back to the corner he sat in earlier. Yakko nodded, smiling back at Sid. Thanks, he said quietly before he walked away, barely paying attention to the guy talking. He needed to rehearse. Sid just sat in the corner and began drawing again. But he decided to draw Yakko this time. I gotta draw him perfectly, he quietly said. Yakko paced backstage. He knew all the lyrics. Of course he did. The real question was, could he keep up? Yakko rattled it all off in his head, lip syncing to it quietly as he paced. He's got this. He did it before. He can do it again, right? Looks like the narrator, I'm not sure if the narrator is a character. Though if it was, I'm pretty sure it's Beans. But I'm not sure if you would agree with that.
The narrator says ow? What? Beans. The narrator says ow.
It's Sid. No, it's not Sid. It's Yakko talking, like in his head.
So the quotations are supposed to be over here?
Sorry, what?
The narrator says
No.
ow. It's not in
Yeah,
quotation.
the narrator is its own person.
Oh. So who's the narrator in the story? Is it Yakko?
It's you. You're the one reading it.
So I'm canon in the story?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay then.
I can't believe they are making him sing the freaking country song. Okay, which country song? He put away the notebook and watched the stage for Yakko to come out and perform. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Wacko Warner. The voice called from the speakers as Yakko climbed on stage and grabbed the mic. Hey folks, it's been a while, huh? This earned a softer cheer than he'd hoped. Anyways, I wasn't actually warned that I was going to do this, so I'm sorry if I'm a little rusty. He smiled and took a bow. The applause swelled as the music began, and he started bouncing to the beat with a faked confidence. A country song. This is a country song? United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican Republic. It has to say Dominican Republic. Cuba, Caribbean. I'm just gonna play the song. It's Yakko's World. Okay. Very popular song. Apparently it's a country song.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Yakko Warner.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican.
Okay, I'll try to sing along.
Warner.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, and El Salvador too. Sid has the biggest smile when he heard the music. I guess Beans likes it. He's actually singing the song. Sid got out his cracked phone and began recording him singing. Oh, I guess Sid is black. I didn't know that. This is great, he said to himself. Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, then Ecuador, Chile, Brazil. Yakko loved this song. He really did. But it was just so overplayed. Okay. Anytime he'd meet somebody, they'd say, "Can you sing that country song?" I guess that does not help Yakko's depression. I don't know if in the story it says that he has depression. But I think it says something along the lines of that. And he'd have to, because how can you say no to that? He enjoyed it, but it got annoying at some point. More of the song. Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname or Suriname? Suriname, and French Guyana, Barbados, and Guam, United States territory. These are, from what I know these are Central American countries, I believe. I don't know about Tobago or San Juan, Paraguay. No, San Juan is a country. They didn't put it, they missed a comma here. But I know Paraguay is a country. I don't know about San Juan, Paraguay. That's why I'm saying they missed a comma. I know these are Central American countries, but I don't know about these. I know Barbados is an island. I believe. I believe it's a Pacific island. Because I knew somebody. I don't remember if he was from Barbados or his family was from Barbados, but I knew somebody in middle school who was either of the two, and we went to the same high school. Sid heard of the country song a few times before, but this is the best song he's ever sung. But this is the best he's ever sung it. Sid moved his head to the rhyme of Yakko's voice. He was still recording the performance. Yakko scanned the crowd, noting that barely a few looked even slightly entertained. This wasn't very good for his ego or his confidence. But he kept going with his typical pep. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany and now in one piece. Yes, Germany used to be very. I think it used to be. I don't know, but Germany used to have a lot of princes and princesses. Lots of families in Germany. If you catch my drift. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey, and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman, Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq, and Iran. Sid moved a bit to the front of the crowd so he can see Yakko better. He felt like the only one who's really enjoying the show. Sid quietly sung along with him. Sid decided to stop recording and just watch his best friend sing. I think that was the right move there. Good job, Sid. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemens. There's two. Breaking news, there's two Yemens. Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Portugal, France, England, Denmark, and Spain. Oh god, these next two verses were hell. Yakko was lucky he had good breath support. I guess RIP to anybody who ever tried to sing to this song. Sid was very impressed after all those years of singing. The song, he can still nail that super fast part in the song. Oh, this is grammatically correct, it's just my emphasis is all messed up. Sid kept singing along with him. He was having a great time. Yakko took a deep breath, getting ready for the second fastest verse. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Kampuchea, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet. Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo, and Vietnam. Sid sung a bit of the song. Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, how do you say that? And Botswana. Oh. Country in East Africa. Pronunciation, there you go.
Djibouti.
Djibouti. Okay. Okay. Djibouti, I guess. Nice one. Good job, East Africa. He waved at Yakko when he looked at the ground again. Yakko grinned back at Sid, a bit of the spring coming back into his step. Mozambique, Zambia, Swaziland, Gambia, Guinea, Algeria, Ghana, Burundi, Lesotho, and Malawi, and Togo. The Spanish Sahara is gone. Nigeria, Chad, Liberia, Egypt, Benin, and Gabon. Tanzania, Somalia, Kenya, and Mali, Sierra Leone, and Algiers. Sid sung too. Da. So this chapter is basically, hello, a project. So apparently chapter 6 is just Yakko singing Yakko's World, and Sid is enjoying it. Hey there.
Oh,
Yeah, what?
I just realized what you just said.
What, that chapter 6 is just Yakko's World?
Yes.
Also, I'm recording. Okay, I'm in the middle of the chapter.
You're in the middle?
Yeah, somewhere in the middle. I started a few moments ago. Damoni, Nambia, Sangrila, Senegal, Libya, Cameroon, Congo, and Zaire. I think it's Zaire. I believe so. Yakko sang back, doing a small spin across the stage and back. Sid jumped on the stage. Wow. With Yakko to sing with him. Ethiopia, Guinea, Bissau. Oh, and apparently there's a country called Djibouti. How do you feel about that project? Djibouti.
Well, I feel like this.
You feel like what? I can't. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up. Okay. Is that Boss Baby again? Is that
Yes.
Okay. Hey, I'll put it on slowly. I'll put it on low. Low for the recording. Okay, it's just a baby crying, isn't it? It's like an actual baby.
It's the sound of a baby. It's the stock sound of a baby crying, but it's slowed down, and at the end there's some sort of fucking demonic sound, distorted like reverb. It's not coming on yet, but it's gonna come on in a few minutes.
Okay. Let's see. Ethiopia, Guinea-Bissau, Madagascar, Rwanda, Maor, and Cayman. Yakko's eyes lit up and he grinned wider than he ever had before, save for, of course, after the call from the day before. Hong Kong, Dubai, Qatar, Yugoslavia, Crete, Mauritania, then Transylvania, Monaco, Liechtenstein. I'm nailing these ones, but I am really having a tough time with these, just something like this. Maori,
Is that what Sid says, or is that what you say?
Liechtenstein. Yakko is saying the countries, and I'm reading the countries. Malta and Palestine, Fiji, Australia, Sandwan, Sudan. He finishes off the song.
Yeah, now it's the distorted part.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Let's see. He finished off the song, panting and waving, finally receiving applause. He looked at Sid with bright eyes. It's kind of thrilling, huh? He asked away from the microphone. Yep, I didn't know I can sing all of that. Heh, heh. He looked at the audience. He looked at the clapping audience. Yakko took his bow, then hopped off stage, holding out his hand for Sid. He didn't think he'd ever fallen for someone as hard as he had the second Sid started singing along. Sid took his hand and he stepped off the stage. Thank you. Who knew Sid would be in love with a guy who can say all of the countries? Yeah, who knew? Well, I was saying thank you for helping me off stage. Sid sat at his and Yakko's table. You did great out there. Yakko gave a sheepish smile, his shoulders close to his cheeks. I mean, it could have been better, but thanks. His voice was a bit quiet. No problem. I was also thinking of telling Wacko and Dot after this party. We've been together for a week already. And it'll be good if we tell them now. Yakko nodded. Sounds good. Something tell M. They're catching on as is. He chuckled, crossing his arms and watching proudly as his brother rattled off the stage and their capitals. Yeah, it's kind of obvious. Me and you hold hands a lot. Sid laughed a little. We also sleep in the same room, so it's kinda applied me and you are dating. Fair? Yakko turned back to Sid for a second, a soft smile on his face. You see that? That's my little brother, and he's the best. He grinned, pointing at Wacko, who was now bouncing around and naming off every capital without so much as a stumble. Yeah. How does so much energy fit inside that little guy? He's bouncing around the stage and he doesn't even look tired. He smiled too. Who knows? You'd think we'd pump him full of sugar. Yakko laughed, watching his little brother sing. Can you believe I taught him those? And he made a song about it? That's what every teacher aspires to. Let's be honest. True, true. What is Dot gonna sing? He watched Wacko sing too. No clue. I haven't seen her since they announced it. She's probably off doing her makeup. Yakko shrugged. Yeah. When are we gonna leave this place? I have a surprise for you at the water tower. Ooh. He smiled brightly. Yakko caught an eyebrow, really tempted to make a dirty joke, but he didn't. Oh, we should be leaving a bit after Dot's song. Yeah, don't worry. It's not sexual because you're not comfortable with that stuff. Yakko didn't know why that hit him as hard as it did, but it felt really good to hear someone validate his sexuality, which is asexual biromantic, and yes, I remember that. He looked genuinely touched that Sid would mention it. I figured it wasn't, but the temptation for a joke was just too strong. Oh, eh. Yeah, me and you got some messy minds, don't we? Sid laughed for a bit. Yakko chuckled, knocking on his temple. I have 90 years worth of dirty jokes up here. Ace or not, I gotta tell him. Heh, careful now. The reboot is gonna be PG-13. You say too much dirty stuff. Sid joked. Oh no, our show's being made for the kids who actually get the jokes. Whatever shall we do? Sid asked dramatically, throwing his head back in faux shame. Oh no, it's not like 20 and 30-year-olds are gonna watch it just for nostalgia purposes. He laughed. I think some of your zaniness rubbed off on me, huh? Yakko chuckled, crossing his arms to lean back in his chair. We tend to have that effect. Yeah. He said it with a grin. After Wakko and Dot performed, they all went home and relaxed. There we have it. That's chapter 6, The Party, where Yakko just sings Yakko's World and falls in love with Sid for singing along with him. How about that? Music brings people together. Do you agree with that?
All right, so it is made by it is made by it is made by, I swear to God, I'm pretty sure it's not made by 20-year-olds, because no 20-year-old, it's pretty much made by 30 and 40-year-olds, and also, but also all the new Animaniacs is made by not for 20 and 30-year-olds, but for 30 and 40-year-olds.
Okay.
And also all the jokes are so paper thin that of course kids are gonna get them. A fucking 5-year-old is gonna get all the jokes in Animaniacs,
I
right?
yeah, I guess so. I could agree with that. Well, I'm trying to think of a joke that a 5-year-old wouldn't get.
Well, what about
The first one I'm thinking of is the screenshot of Wacko pouring the cereal and drinking it without milk. I mean, a 5-year-old is not gonna get that. I think a 5-year-old will not get that. I think that's a safe assumption.
and also of yeah, but the 5-year-old thing is a kind of an exaggeration, but
Okay.
pretty sure would probably understand that the control episode, and understand that the and understand the joke of Wacko eating the fucking bunny is kind of a is kind of a suicide joke.
Hmm. Well, on that note, I'm gonna end the recording. Thanks for coming.
Chapter 7 Aftermath. Everyone was chilling in the living room after the party. Sid and Yakko were super nervous about the other news they had. Should I tell them? he whispered to Yakko. Yakko nodded, wringing his hands. Yeah, I don't think I can do it on my own. One of the perks, or some might call it a perk, and some might not, of dating Yakko was that you could see how fake his stage presence and, on film, his confidence really was. He was nervous a lot of the time, and fidgeted a lot. Sid stood up. I'm gonna do it. Hey, Wacko and Dot. Me and Yakko here are dating. Sid put a hand on Yakko's shoulder. Oh, that feels good to get off my chest, he said to himself. Yakko tensed up and watched his siblings, expecting some reaction. Dot looked between the two. You and Yakko? Please, you're way out of his league, she laughed, rolling her eyes. Yakko tried to stifle a giggle. Ouch, that stung. But he's perfect for me, and me and him love each other. Sid tried so hard to ignore the hateful comments. Wacko cocked an eyebrow at the two. Ah, young love, he said, wistfully, sharing a laugh with Dot. Yakko's eyebrows narrowed a bit. You're younger than the both of us. And it's still young love, Wacko shrugged. Yakko felt a lot of his energy drain away. He knew they were probably joking, but it still really hurt. He looked between his siblings with hurt in his eyes and a tense chest. I'll be right back, he said quietly, getting up and heading out to his room. What's his problem? We were just joking, Dot asked, watching her brother walk away with concern. He watched Yakko silently. I hope you guys know what you did. He faced the two. Great. Now he's even more sad, he said while walking to Yakko's room. He knocked on the door. Hello? Hey, can I come in? Knock, knock. Wacko seemed like he didn't understand what what they'd done as wrong as wrong. He didn't understand what they'd done wrong as Sid walked away, but it dawned on Dot, who told him immediately. Yakko sighed, barely loud enough to respond. Yeah, sure. Sid opened the door to see Yakko in his ball pit. He closed the door behind him. Well, I think it went pretty well. He tried to lighten the mood. It may take some time, but I think they approve. He jumped into the ball pit. Yakko let out a small chuckle, staying quiet for the most part. A quiet Yakko is never a good sign. After a beat of silence, he spoke very softly. I know they were just joking, so why does it hurt so much? Yeah, it does. I never got made fun of like that before. Sid got out of the ball pit and walked to a nearby mirror. I don't look young. I look, I'm ugly. That's what I am. He faced Yakko. I'm not ugly, right? Yakko's eyes widened. Wait, no. No, of course you're not. You look amazing, he said softly, taking Sid's face into his hands. Oh my. Okay. You're amazing. They were right about one thing. You're way out of my league. He smiled, rubbing Sid's cheeks with his thumb. But you are out of my league. How can I compare to a way more popular cartoon character? And I'm not And I'm not amazing looking. You are, not me. He sat in the ground upset. I don't even deserve all the love you give me. I'm a bad person for telling them so soon, he said quietly. Yakko didn't understand how to phrase this feeling. It wasn't empathy. It wasn't sympathy. It wasn't worry. He wasn't sure what it was, but it tightened his chest and made him want to protect Sid from everything. That's love. That's what that is. No, you're not. It was right to tell them. And honestly, having a cartoon isn't all it's chalked up to be. I love it, but it's tiring. And it doesn't feel all that good to be known. It's overrated. If I'm being honest, I don't care who says what or how they treat you. I'm still be here because that's what you do when you love somebody. It does feel nice not having people ask for pictures all the time. And thank you for still being with me. He stood up. I feel like I made the right decision dating you. I have a guy who really cares. Can you also promise me something? He grabbed his hands. Yakko smiled, the fatigue seeping into his gaze once again. Depends on the promise. He joked. Sid was being serious here. Please. And I'm begging you here. Don't leave me. I need you. And we need each other. He squeezed his hands. Yakko nodded, squeezing back. I promise, he said quietly. Something in his eyes showing that he was serious too. Oh, the surprise. I found something so cool. He ran to his cardboard box and he came back with a VHS. I found my old show. Well, show. I got replaced by some little girl. That's awesome. Yakko replied with excitement, his face falling a bit when Sid mentioned that he got replaced. We gotta watch it, but first I'm gonna go explain to Wacko and Dot what's up. They're usually pretty understanding. They just are kids. He sighed. Yeah, you should do that. Do you have a VHS player in here? He looked around. I should somewhere. Yakko stood up and rummaged around his room for a second before pulling out an old dusty VHS player. I'll set it up when I get back, he said with a smile, then leaving his room to talk to his siblings. Sid waited in the ball pit. How the hell can he sleep in this? He tried to lay in it, but he couldn't. Yakko came back with Wacko and Dot, both of whom apologized when they saw Sid. Yakko felt a bit of his pride at his skill to explain things to people without making them feel awful about it. Okay. Alrighty. Let me set up that VHS player, said with a smile, starting to try and set it up. Sid nodded. Hey, how can you sleep in this thing? Sid moved around in the ball pit. There are no comfy places. Yakko laughed, pulling it in. You find them. His voice grew quiet for a moment. Eventually, he dusted off the top, coughing as dust flew into his face. Okay, I think I've got it. He hopped out of the ball pit and sat in front of the TV. Remember, this was in the 60s, so it's gonna be kinda cringy. There's not much cringy-er than how they wrote our relationship with Hello Nurse in the 90s. Yakko said with a shudder. Yeah, it's awful. It was awful. It was awful. Do you actually like her? Also, I watched a little of it, and it's kind of risky if you know what I mean by that. Not really. I mean, yeah, she was pretty and all, but that was quite the age gap. And also, I would never actually treat somebody like that. Yakko shrugged, turning on the TV. I thought she was kinda hot, but you are more hot, I guess. Sid tried to flirt. The TV started playing the show. Yakko choked on air, his face turning red. Good night, everybody. He managed, trying to focus on the show. You still say that dumb catchphrase? Sid saw himself on the TV, helping some lady with a cat. Then he said his own catchphrase. Radio, Sid said on TV. Yakko tried really hard to stifle a laugh, but he wasn't very successful. What was that doubt? What was that about? A dumb catchphrase. I forgot about that radio then, Sid said jokingly. Yakko let himself laugh this time, half covering his own smile with a fist. He rolled his eyes. Hypocrisy at the highest order, he joked. God, I hate this show. I just realized something. I'm basically a Felix the Cat ripoff. Yakko nearly crackled, leaning backwards. Wow, that's hilarious. He managed now, fully covering his mouth with one hand. Shut up. At least my catchphrase is better than yours. Sid stopped focusing on the show. Oh, this is starting to become heated. Drama. Really? Is it? Because mine is a joke for the adults. Yours is just a normal phrase. Yakko said through laughter, hoping that he didn't come off as rude. This show sucks. I'm glad no one remembers it. He stopped the show. He took the VHS out. I liked it. I thought it was cute, Yakko smiled, patting Sid on the shoulder. It was? He threw the VHS in his cardboard box. Yeah, I thought it was great, Yakko smiled, leaning back and resting on his palms. Especially since you were in it. Thanks. He checked the time. Hey, it's kinda late. Yeah, Yakko nodded, turning the cheek on his siblings. Turning to check on his siblings who were asleep in his ball pit, he smiled, just looking at them for a moment. It was times like these that made all of the days where they fought worth it. Where are we gonna sleep? He saw them sleeping in the ball pit. Should we sleep on the couch? Yakko thought for a moment. He knew better than to disrupt Dot's cutie sleep. And Wakko would never fall back asleep when he was woken up. So kicking them out of bed wasn't an option. Yeah, the couch is good. You take the fold-out couch, and I'll take my chair. Yakko nodded to himself, then walking to his siblings and put a blanket. Then walked to his siblings and put a blanket over them. He kissed each of their foreheads and said, "Good night, Sibs," before leaving the room. Okay. He went to the living room and he pulled out the fold-out couch bed. Couldn't we sleep in the same bed or something? He said while throwing pillows onto the bed. Yakko, who was now in the kitchen, looked a bit surprised. I mean, yeah, we can. I just figured you'd appreciate the space. He stumbled over his words, now still instead of moving around the kitchen to make tea. Yakko sipped his milk. His phone began ringing. Hello? He walked into the living room. Ah, I see. Okay, I'll tell him right away. Sid came back to the kitchen. Okay. I got good and bad news. Yakko immediately tensed. Okay, he said quietly, wringing his hands. Good news first. You guys are going on a big trip to promote the new reboot. He smiled. And the bad news? Yakko glanced around the room, not sure what to expect. Bad news, I'm not going to be in the reboot, and I can't be on the trip, because I'm not relevant. What? That's not true, Yakko exclaimed, surprised at his only ability to keep quiet. Half of the crew isn't relevant. And what the hell do they mean? That's just ridiculous. Seemed less angry and more frustrated, both of which being emotions that he didn't express often. This bothered him, it was clear. Please calm down. Perfectly fine, I'll be okay. He tries to calm down. It'll be perfectly fine, man. I'm not really that mad. But, Yakko sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. It's a stupid sentiment. Feels like they don't actually want us to enjoy having the reboot. I don't care. I'll enjoy it anyway. But it's just a weird thing for them to do, that's all. Sorry I got upset. Okay, and I understand. They probably only accepted this reboot for money. They are bringing a bus tomorrow morning. I'll watch over the water tower while you're gone, okay? Yakko nodded. Okay. He rubbed one of his eyes, shaking his head a bit. Thanks. He gave a weak smile and turned to grab his mug out of the cabinet. Yeah, I think I'll be fine without being with you. I think. I'm gonna go lay down. He finished his glass of milk and laid down on the pull-out couch. Yakko would join him after he finished his tea. Yeah. That was chapter 7, the aftermath. The aftermath of the party. Leading into the news that Sid is not going to be on the reboot with Yakko. So I guess they lost that moment. That moment they could have had as a couple working together on the show. But that's okay because their love is stronger than that. That's chapter 7.
Chapter 8 of Beans' fanfic, Sid X Yakko. The argument and the makeup. Sid was in Yakko's room reading a book. He saw Yakko just laying in the ball pit. Yakko lay back, exhausted after the trip. His siblings were trying the whole time, trying to keep up the zany antics. It was fun, but exhausting. And Yakko had to learn how to shut the emotional bottle so tight that it was near impossible to open. He sat his book down and he walked to the ball pit. You look exhausted. Something wrong? If there is, just tell me. Nah, I'm all good here, Yakko said with a smile, adjusting so that Sid could sit next to him. Sid sat next to him. Indeed he did. Are you sure? You've been very sad ever since you came back from that trip. Yeah, I'm fine. Yakko nodded, sounding way too tired to be telling the truth. Stop lying. You're not. Tell me what's wrong. Sid said kind of madly. Madly in love? Hmm? Question mark? Moving on. Whoa, hey, I'm fine. Chill out. I'm okay, really. Yakko cowered a bit. He never had a good reaction to anger, especially not from those close to him. No, you're not. You always fucking say, oh, I'm okay. Then you go and cry in the shower. Pisses me off. Tell me what's wrong right now. Yakko has never seen Sid this angry. Very angry. Very angry. Sid is angry right now. Yakko started shaking back into the edge of the ball pit. Sid. Really, I'm okay. His voice was a bit high-pitched and panicked. His eyes looked scared. Shut up. No, you're not. How come I'm... How come when I'm sad, I always come to you for help? He got out of the ball pit. And why don't you ever come to me for help, He crossed his arms. Yakko's hands found their way into the fur on his head, and he nearly started crying. Please stop. I'm sorry, I can't. Just tell me what's wrong. That's all I want, that's it. He fixed his tie. It hurts me when I see you sad. Yakko didn't think he could speak. He felt suffocated, like there was honey sliding down his throat and he couldn't open it. All he could do was shake and stare at Sid with those wide, helpless eyes. Oh, Sid realized what he did. Oh, Yakko, I'm so sorry. Sid had himself curled into a ball, running his thumb between his fingers on each hand. He shook his head, forcing himself to speak despite how wrong it felt. No, I'm fine, I'm sorry. I'm overreacting. I still feel bad. I'll be in the living room if you need me. Sid sadly walks to the living room. What have I done? Yakko felt every single ball in the pit touching him at once, and he was suddenly aware of the air vents blowing across the room and the buzzing of the TV. So it's like, so when Yakko gets like that, I think he loses his awareness of his surroundings, and this is what's going on right now. He's coming back into a normal state. That's what's going on with Yakko. He covered his eyes and tried to cover his ears, wanting to move but feeling stuck. Sid sat on the couch and just think for a second. He saw Wakko and Dot. He walked over to them sadly. What are you guys doing? Wakko was playing some racing video games with Dot sitting in the couch behind him. I'm his sports announcer, Dot said, in the most announcery voice that she could manage. And he's taking a left and another right. And he's left again. Oh, that's nice. He watched Wakko play. Hey kids, here's a life lesson. Don't yell at your partner. It'll help you in the long run. He said quietly. Dot cocked her head to the side, but she soon caught the meaning. Is he okay? What happened? Wakko wasn't really listening, too focused on his game. Well, I kinda yelled at him because he wasn't telling me what's wrong, and now I feel terrible. Dot rolled her eyes. Ah, boys, go fig. She turned back to Sid. Look, I bet what Yakko really needs right now is for you to be in there with him. If he's upset, he wants someone to be there. Being alone only makes things worse for him. She said matter-of-factly, patting Sid on the shoulder. Go fix my brother. He stood up straight. Yes, ma'am. He quickly walked back into the room. Yakko? Yakko was still in the ball pit, trying to lower his senses to a reasonable level. Was this what a sensory overload felt like? He hadn't had one of those in years. He heard the voice, and despite it sounding like a piercing scream to him, he managed to say, "Come in." Sid got into the ball pit and he laid right next to Yakko and held him. I'm here. I'm here. Everything is gonna be okay. Yakko felt Sid touch him, and it was this confusing mix of soothing and overwhelming. Everything was so vivid, but in a decidedly good way. I can't breathe, he barely managed to say, squeezing his eyes shut. He held him close. It's all okay. I'm so sorry for yelling. They haven't really gotten this close before. It felt nice. I'm always gonna be here for you. He held him closer. Yakko turned and wrapped his arms around Sid's neck, holding him tight. He could focus on his boyfriend's breathing instead of the buzzing TV, on his arms around him instead of the air conditioner. He began to calm down. It's all okay. I wrote a new song for us. He messed with his boyfriend's dog ears. Baby. Oh yeah, the Warner brothers and sisters are dog, cat, rabbit things. So the show says. So that's why it says dog ears. Maybe I can play with it to calm you down more. Yakko nodded. But he didn't want to let go of Sid. He closed his eyes, nearly starting to cry. He was becoming less overwhelmed and more tired and guilty. He felt terrible. He just wanted to curl into his dysphoria hoodie and cry. I'll play with it later for you. He held Yakko closer to him. He feels so guilty how we treated him earlier. He feels like he's gotta protect him at all costs to make it up to him. Sid began quietly singing. I really love you, and I mean it. You. The star above you, the crystal blue. Oh, well, oh baby, my hair's on end about you. He sung to Yakko. Yakko melted a bit, now sighing into the hold he has on Sid. He was almost ready to fall asleep while he listened. Sid kept singing. I wouldn't see you, and I love you too. I fly above you, yes I do. Well, oh baby, my hair's on end about you. Sid smiled at Yakko. Yakko hummed softly, his grip on Sid loosening a bit. He seemed like he was sufficiently calmed down, and now he was just exhausted. He forgot how much sensory overloads took out of him. He stopped singing. I made that song last night. He kissed Yakko's forehead. It's nice, Yakko replied hoarsely. And it was easy to tell that he was nearly crying. What's wrong, honey? That was the first time Sid called Yakko honey. I'm just really sorry for all of it. I'm so sorry. And Yakko choked up a bit. I'm so tired, Sid. I'm exhausted, but I can't show it because if I do, I lose the most important thing about me. I'm supposed to be the funny and energized, but I can't keep pretending. Hey, it's okay. I feel terrible for yelling at you like that. I'm so sorry. And I feel the same way. In the show I was on, I was the person who'd do anything for anyone. But now I'm just some asshole cat who only cares about himself. His voice became more angry, but not at Yakko, but at himself. Yakko sat up, holding Sid's face in his hands. No, You had every right to be mad at me. I was keeping things from you. Getting mad at that is rational. You aren't selfish. You aren't an asshole. You had a more normal reaction to the circumstance. I did. Sid sat up too. I'm sorry. I've had so much self-hate inside me. I want it all gone. Can we just go to sleep and pretend like none of this happened? Yakko's voice was quiet. It's okay. I do too. He returned to his normal volume. Of course we can. I just need to tuck Yakko and Dot in, okay? He laid on his back and waited for Yakko to come back. Yakko stood, composing himself before leaving his room. Hey guys, it's 9:30. Time to wrap up. He called to the living room, entering to see if Wacko was still playing his video game. How long have you been on that thing? About 2 hours. Yakko shrugged, looking away. Sid took off his suit and got into an old, human-sized shirt, and he got back into the ball pit. I gotta get him a freaking bed. He got comfy and waited for Yakko. Yakko rolled his eyes at his brother. Time to hit the sack, and before you whine, I know you don't want to. Go get ready, I'll tell you guys a story. Yakko groaned, but obliged. Leaving the room, Sid got a blanket and got cozy and began falling asleep. Yakko put his siblings to bed with ease, telling him the classic story to appease them. He left the room, coming back to see Sid asleep. He smiled fondly and left the room again, making himself some tea in the kitchen, and began to hum as the water started sizzling. You knocked me out so hard I can barely speak or think or breathe, and I feel like I've lost my mind, but I've always been headed there since millennia. Yakko had come back with tea. He sat it down, and he lays with Sid under a blanket. He sips his tea and gave Sid a kiss. Well, that's chapter 8. Yeah, the argument and the makeup. If I have any thoughts, well, I do have one thought. I feel as though this chapter shows a pretty important lesson. Here we go. Hold on, I'm gonna find the line here. If he's upset, he wants someone to be there. Being alone only makes things worse for him. She said so matter-of-factly, patting Sid on his shoulder. Go fix my brother. I feel like that's the crux of the story is just go fix my brother. I feel like I hit the nail on the head there. But aside from that, usually when somebody's going through something, sometimes it's good to give them space and whatnot. But there are times like right here in this chapter where it's better to sit in that space, to sit in that uncomfortable space with that other person when they're going through something, because that sometimes that's better. And that's what Sid did for Yakko. Not sure if Yakko is fixed per se, but that's a step in the right direction. And that's chapter 8. Next chapter is the last chapter. And that's it. This is the last chapter of the fanfic. It's just this one little thing blip here. So I'm gonna go ahead and read that. Here we go. Last chapter, best chapter? Let's see. Chapter 9, the end. Sid was on set for the new Animatics reboot. He was so happy for Yakko and his siblings, how they got to be in the spotlight again. He stood by Yakko. Hey, are you ready to be on TV again? Sid put a hand on his shoulder. Yakko faced Sid. I don't think they are ready for us again. Yakko sparked. Sid smiled. Go get him, you crazy diamond. He gave Yakko a big kiss on the lips. Yakko blushed deeply. Thank you. Yakko began walking to the set, but stopped in his tracks. He ran back to Sid. Here. He gave him his Weezer sweater. Please don't destroy it. Yakko gave Sid a kiss on the cheek and ran onto the stage. The director said action. The end. That's it, man. That's the chapter. Here, I'm gonna leave a comment about the sweater. Hold on. Real homies don't destroy your sweater. There, that's the one. I'm gonna put a praying emoji. Hold on a second. I'm gonna put 3 praying emojis. And then there's the next chapter, which is just the end bit, the author's note. Hey, I'm thinking of making a new story, maybe something animatics, maybe something else. Well, I hope you enjoyed the story. I'm gonna vote on it. Yep, that's it. That's Beans' fanfic, Sid and Yakko. One first of many. First of many. Yep, that's it.